Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. There's been a few comments as to wondering why I chose to live off-grid um, at my later years, in my later years rather, at age 65. So I wanted to explain a little bit more about that. And also, I received a comment asking me to talk a little bit more about my background. And so, for those of you who have not read my book, I See the Elephant, and yes, a lot of it is very traumatic and a little bit emotionally taxing, but it does have a happy ending, so I promise. But it's such a beautiful day out here in Maine. It's almost spring, and I thought maybe I'd take you out for my very short walk down the path to my beach and explain a little bit more about why I bought this property at age 65. And I'm also going to share something about my life that I have not talked about. It is in my book, however. And if any of you are interested in hearing more about this particular topic, please let me know and I'd be more than happy to talk about it. My life lessons that I've learned, I would love for them to be beneficial for anyone else. So if I can share them and give them value for someone else, it's even more of a win for me. So I'm videoing this on my tablet. My new phone has not yet arrived with my gimbal. So I'm going to flip it around and hopefully it works and take you to my beach. Here we go, it worked. So I have this very small path, as you can see, and the deer come here every night. In the winter I can see their hoof prints. And they actually come right up to my cabin and jump over my fence. And I still don't know why they do that, but I have seen some very big paw prints. I believe they belong to a bobcat. So I'm wondering if they think being in my yard is a safe place. And I hope so, because I love all animals. And actually I was thinking about feeding the deer in the winter. But when I researched doing that, I learned it's not a good idea. It will upset their digestive system, and they're actually better off eating the natural twigs and things that they're accustomed to. Yes, this old table was here when I bought the property, and I keep telling myself one of these days I'll take my Sawzall and saw it apart and light it on fire and get rid of it. But it's kind of a low priority because there's so many other things I love to do out here. Now, why did I decide to buy this place? Again, I've had a very turbulent life, and honestly, I wanted to go home, and I grew up in a place called Marblehead, Massachusetts, a very small New England town that is now extremely crowded and expensive, so that idea went right out the window. But I wanted to be at least near the ocean, if not on the ocean, and I've talked about this before. So after I was traveling around the country for 2 years in my camper, which I will not promote because to me it was, I had some scary moments. And I think any woman alone traveling, especially with out-of-state plates on her truck, can be targeted, as I was. And I can talk more about that if any of you are curious. I went out west. I went down to Corpus Christi. Went to state parks all by myself. But there are people out there who are predators, and I encountered a few. And luckily I made it home safe. So in any event, after 2 years, I decided that was not for me. And I wanted to go home to New England, and I wanted to find my own little hideout and hide from the world. And that's what I did. I hope this isn't too windy. So I found this cabin, and I talked about already how I barely had enough money to buy it, and installed my wood stove and did the paneling, which I'm going to show you in my cabin tour. I'm waiting for my new phone to come. And so I found my peace and quiet, and I have to tell you, living out in the woods it's almost indescribable for me, because I've been in so many difficult situations and abusive relationships. Um, I can promise you this: being out in the woods and just uh, immersing yourself in solitude is the best therapy ever. And after being here for 4 years, I have never felt so darn relaxed and at peace with myself in my entire life. Now, especially with what's going on in the world today, with all the uncertainty, and oh my gosh, he's on the ice. Um, he won't swim. He won't go in there. Um, I feel safer than ever here because there are so many options. I'm planning to buy a rowboat. My kayak's getting a little too crowded with me and my dogs. And I'm going to teach myself how to fish, catch my own fish. And I'm also starting a garden. So buying this property has been even more beneficial than I ever imagined. And just listening to this, listen. Nothing. When you hear nothing, when you're not bombarded by all the city noises, which I get it. Some of you love the city. You love all the noise and the people and all of that. For me, I do not. And being an introvert and an empath, I thrive in this environment. And I'm sure many of you, if you don't live like this, maybe you search out places to go, parks, national forests, maybe you go camping. But again, this has been the best decision I ever made in my life. Now, here's a little bit about my background that I have not shared, and it is in my book. And if any of you are interested in hearing more about this topic, please let me know, because I believe many women, many mothers may be experiencing this today. And if you're one of them, I hope to encourage you by what I've done. Now, what I'm talking about is I am estranged from my adult daughter. And to make a long story short, my mother was extremely abusive, sadistic, sarcastic, emotionally hurtful, intentionally. So, due to my low self-esteem, I married a man who treated me the same way. Now, lo and behold, my adult daughter has become the mirror image of those two. And I'm honestly convinced that some of this behavior, these personality traits, are inherited. Excuse me. Now, for many years, I tried to connect with my mother. I tried to emotionally connect with her. And at the age of 92, when she was in the nursing home, I realized that that was never going to happen. I had also tried to do the same with my father, and that, of course, never happened either. That is also the reason why I left my abusive husband. Now, after years of trying to do the same, trying to connect and discuss important topics and problems with my daughter, I received the same callous disregard for my feelings, for my thoughts, the same condescending disregard for my choices in my life. And when I was 60, um, it finally occurred to me, Barbara, the only person I can change is myself, right? And I'm not getting any younger. I deserve a happy life, and I'm going to go live a happy life. So that's what I'm doing, and I have not heard from her since. I don't expect I will. I have 2 grandchildren. I have no idea anything about them, and probably never will. And yes, that's sad. But on the other hand, there's a time when we have to say to ourselves, life is short, it's what we make it, and some of these things in our lives and some of these people we simply cannot change. And so I found my peace with my life and with myself out here in the woods. And I tried to keep that short. So if any of you are estranged from your adult children, please feel free to comment. And if you'd like me to talk about that more, of course I'll keep it in a general sense. But it was very, very difficult to experience the emotional trauma of being treated as such. But again, it's just making a choice for what you're going to allow in your life, creating new boundaries and saying, it's sad, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So this is why I live out here. Thank you for watching. Please feel to subscribe if you'd like to. Give me a thumbs up, ask me questions, and my next video in a few days, as soon as I get my new phone, or maybe I'll do it on my tablet, will be my cabin tour. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you're having a really great day.